Welcome to the video. In this video, we are diving back into Windsurf Editor by Codeium. So you will need to install Windsurf Editor. You can just go to Codeium.com, go to Products, and click on Windsurf Editor and go ahead and install it. If you're curious about pricing, as we discussed in a previous video, they do have a free tier here, and then you can also do a free trial of their $10 a month. Which is half the cost of Cursor, and it's very impressive so far. You also will need to have Node.js installed. So however you want to install that, you can go to the website and install it here, or you can use something like Homebrew. And then you also need Docker installed. So I have a Docker desktop installed, and I have it up and running. So we will be using that. And let's go ahead and jump into the editor here. So we are going to open up a folder, and let's see, we'll just go into where is it? Projects, YouTube, Codeium. Let's see, Node.js, and let's go ahead and create a new folder. We'll just call it productivity. And just go ahead and click open. So we're going to be building an API, so a backend for a productivity app. So what we're going to do is use a prompt that I've already created here. So I'm just going to go ahead and paste my prompt in here. So please create a Node.js API application for a productivity app. It needs to have endpoints to handle these. So we need to login, registration, get to-dos, add to-do, edit to-do, delete to-do, get notes, add note, edit note, delete note, get events, add event, edit event, delete event, get reminder, add reminder, edit reminder, and then delete reminder. So this is our productivity API that we're going to be building out here. So I have write selected, so we're going to go ahead and let Cascade do what it does. If you don't have Cascade open, you can just click this button. And then we'll just go ahead and click this little return or send button. And then it's going to go through and start generating everything for us. And it's going to do each file. It's created our package.json. So it's going to, when we run npm install, it's going to install these packages. We're going to use our scripts here. So for our dev script, we can use run or npm run dev, so that'll run nodemon, but we're actually going to be using Docker, so we'll be letting Docker handle this. So Docker will be handling installing the packages and running everything that we need. It's continuing to install all these packages. So I'm going to go ahead and pause the video, and I will come back once it's finished with all this. Okay, so it's finished doing everything it needs to do. And let's see. It's wanting me to run the Docker command. I don't want to do that. I do want to accept all the changes. So let's check out the files here. So we've got these. Yeah, I guess I don't like that it's wanting me to do that. Let's just go ahead and click OK. And I just want to see if it's going to. All right, so it's going to run. Looks like it's going to run on our system, but let me accept all. Okay, so now it's accepted all those changes. Okay, so I don't want to run that. I'm going to cancel this for now. So I did accept that. So it did save all the changes, which was mainly what I wanted. And it did a npm install, which we really didn't need. But, if we were going to be running it local, I probably should have said that we're going to run it in Docker in the prompt here. But now I'm going to. So, but anyway, so let's just go ahead and move forward. Please create all the files needed to run this application in Docker. All right, so let's see what it comes up with. Now let's read what it said here while it does that. So I've created a complete Node.js API application for your productivity app. Here's a summary of what we've created. So there's a project structure. So set up a Node.js project with Express, so that's good. MongoDB, so we got a database, and all the necessary dependencies in the package.json, which is what we're looking at here. Created a comprehensive .env file so that we can use our API keys and URLs and certain things in here. So so there we go. The URL for the MongoDB. We're setting up our port, and then we would put our super secret JWT secret key here. So let's see. So the models. Okay, so models. It's created models for us, and we've got the user model and to do, note, event, reminder. So we've got all of this set up. Authentication, so that's good. To do routes, note routes. So we've got our routes here. And then security features, we're using JWT-based authentication, password hashing with bcrypt. Of course, core is enabled, so this is all good stuff. Documentation, create a detailed README file. That is insane. Wow, check this out. This is amazing. Okay, so it wants to accept the changes here since we're adding the Docker to this. So I've created all necessary files to run the Docker application. So we got the Docker file, Docker compose.yaml, and the Docker ignore. And then it made changes to the README file. So this is phenomenal. We're going to go ahead and run Docker compose up. So I'm going to open up terminal by pressing Control and tilde. And then I'm just going to paste this here. And it's not running detached, so we'll just go ahead and let it run build, so we'll be able to see the code that it does here. Hopefully everything will be running great. So we got our Docker desktop running, so we'll be seeing this populate here soon. And so the application will be available at localhost 3000, and so we'll be using that. And another thing, what we're going to be using to test the application with is Postman. So if you don't have Postman, go to postman.com and go ahead and install it, and you can follow along with me. I'm going to go ahead and copy this URL because we'll be using this. So while looks like Docker's loaded up, let's go over to Docker. Yep, we got it running here. We have an image, our images here. So yeah, this is looking great. And let's go back over here. I'm going to go to Postman right here, and I'm going to create a new collection, and we will call this productivity. And I want to add a request here, and I'm going to call this registration. And actually, let's go back to productivity. I'm going to click on variables here, and I want to put we'll just go pro URL. There we go. So we'll just put that in there, and I'm going to go ahead and save this for now. And I'm going to go back to our application. I'm going to ask it, please, let's see. I'm going to test this API using Postman. Please provide example JSON for the body for each endpoint. All right, let's see what it does with that. So essentially what we're going to do is we're going to create a basically a call, and we would be using, depending on the call that we're running. So for registration, we'll be posting the fields for the registration fields, and we'll be having a body, and we're going to be choosing raw, and then we're going to make sure JSON is selected, and then this will paste whatever it comes with up with right here in our JSON field. So Let's see how it's done here. So perfect. So we need this post, and this is our endpoint right here. So this is what the URL, this is what we're going to be posting to. So this URL here. So we need to get our pro URL that we created, and then we're going to paste the endpoint here. So if we hover over this, all we do is type in these double curly brackets, and then we choose the pro URL. And you can see when we hover over that, it's actually localhost 3000, which is what we had copied and pasted and set up here in the variables. So that's why we're setting these variables, because we're going to be using that in multiple places. So this is our register here. Now we need the actual JSON. So we're just going to copy this. We'll go back to our Postman and then paste that in there, and I'm going to save it. And at this point, we should be able to test this. So I'm just going to go ahead and click send. And sure enough, we get back the user registered successfully, and we get this token. So we would probably won't use that until we start signing in. But this is the user that we went ahead and created. So if we went into the database, we would see this user now. So the next thing we want to do is create a login, right? So let's go and see what he says for the login. So we've got this login here. So it's API auth post login, so or auth login. So I'm going to go ahead and create a new add request, and then I'm going to just put in login here. And we are going to do double curly and then pro, and then choose that. We'll paste in that. Go back to body. Then we're going to go to raw. JSON's there. And so we see that it's given us an example that matches what we need there. So we'll just copy this, and then we'll paste this. We'll save that, and then we're going to click send. And let's see what we did wrong. Cannot get. Okay, so I forgot to change this to post. So let's go ahead and change this to post. Save that, and now let's go ahead and resend that. Okay, so now we're getting back this this token right here, and we will be needing that to get to do. So let's create a to do. So let's see if to do is next. Okay. Okay, so it gave us the. Okay, so it's given us the data. So let's say, accept all. Okay, so for other requests, add the header bearer token to your, for example, use the example JSON bodies provide. Okay. Bodies provided in the README file. So all of that should be in the README file. Perfect. Okay. Here's the examples. This is this is phenomenal, guys. So let's find the to do. So here's register. It's showing us what response. See, this will all be handy when we start building out the app. There's login, and let's find API to dos. So this is, we'll get posting to dos. Okay, so let's go ahead and see, we'll be copying that. So let's go ahead and say add request, and we will call this create to do. Okay, we're going to change this to post, and we'll go pro. Oops. Sometimes autofill doesn't fill out the one you want. There we go. Okay, paste that. Oops. Okay. Back here. Copy. Does that work? Oh, come on. Put. I copied the wrong one. Let's go back here. Okay, so this is the put. Where is add? API to do. Here we go. That's what we need right here. Okay, let's try this again. Now we'll get this for our test to do. And we need to make sure our content type is application JSON. And that would be in the header here. So we just go content type, which isn't here yet. So let's see if that populates when we choose raw JSON, paste that here. Let's go back. And sure enough, it did. Okay, good. Next, we're going to need this bearer token. So we're going to go to our auth type, and we'll go down to bearer token. And we need to get the, let's do this. Let's get this token here. We're going to copy this. We're going to go back up to our productivity to variables, and then we'll just call this pro token. Paste those in there. We're going to go ahead and save that. We'll go back here, and now we want to change this to pro token. There we go. We'll save that. It looks like that's good. Let's go ahead and click send. Okay, excellent. We got back that. Let's say we'll change this to, I don't know, meet with the design team. And discuss new clients app design. All right, save that, send that. Okay, looks like everything went through completed. So now we should be able to use the same right here, the exact same URL to get the list. So we're just going to go ahead and add new list. And so we'll just say get to dos, and we'll leave this as get. And this time we'll paste this here. We'll still need the bearer token here. So let's go change this to bearer token, and then perfect. All right, very good. Let's just save this, and then we should get a list of our to-dos here. So let's do this. Okay, so we got meet with the design team and complete the project presentation. Okay, I think this is a good stopping point for our testing our API. So we've created an API using Windsurf, and it's working with the MongoDB database. We've got it running in Docker. Everything is looking great. In the next video, we are going to be building an application to work with this. So I hope you enjoyed this one, and I will see you in the next one.